Hello, welcome back, viewers. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for joining Peace Chapel. This is Family Matters. Proverbs 18:22. Find a good spouse, you find a good life, and even more, the favor of God. We are talking about choosing a life partner. Join us. Our guest for today happens to be the one and only Bishop of Peace Chapel International. He's a father of 4. He has only one wife. He usually says, "If you are doing for a mashada awarino." Yes, he is the man, and we are blessed to have him to answer all questions pertaining to our choice of a partner. Bishop, you are welcome.
Thank you.
God bless you for coming.
I'm honored to be here.
Yes, it's a privilege to have you all on set today. So we'll quickly go on, as today our questions are very, there are a lot and we are ready to ask all of them. So I'll start with the lady in the middle. Miss Nancy, what's your question for the bishop today?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, and I thank God for the life of Bishop. I want to ask him that sex before marriage, socially and biblically, is wrong. But this guy, you see, is kind of a xenophobia, afraid to go close to a lady, even afraid to hold hands with a lady. And definitely when you get married, there will be a part that you want to have sex together. But you've seen a sign that this person kind of fear women, a xenophobia. So this person, can you take as a life partner, or you just have to let go? Because definitely you need sex after marriage.
So are you answering this question for the like the girl in question or the guy?
The girl in question.
Okay, so let me greet all our online viewers and thank you for connecting to this. Now it's not Facebook, it's Peace Chapel TV, according to what God is doing. Now, so now your question is, if you are a girl and if you met a guy, and this guy, right? I mean, he's afraid, he's so shy to say, he can't propose. Is that what you mean?
Not necessarily that proposing that I love you or something,
Okay.
but his actions,
Okay.
even as you go out, holding the hand itself,
It's difficult.
yeah, and even a hug itself is difficult.
So we can say that he's not romantic or something like that.
Maybe, I don't know, fear of women, xenophobia. I have
Okay,
people like
I
that.
understand.
Yeah.
Like when they see women, they feel very uncomfortable.
Yes, please.
Sure, you can. For me, what I would say is that it's unfortunate that today most girls are looking for guys who are too see that like that, you know. At times it can be dangerous. And one time somebody came to me, "Daddy, this my husband is too spiritual." I said, "Hey, you are. I mean, God has blessed you for a man who is spiritual. Now, come back to your question. If there's a guy like that, sure, you can go out with him. Everything has its time. At times, somebody will say, when you low one shine high, you can just go out with him, and if it is God's man, God's person. If this person is a child of God, he loves Jesus, love God, and he respects you, and he have value for you, then don't only say no because she's afraid of women. Eventually, things will be okay. And in most cases, if you meet a guy who does no respect for him, you can just see 10 girls, and within a space of time, he has asked all of them out. It can be dangerous and damaging to go out with such a guy. And so for me, I would prefer a guy for my daughter like you, who is a child of God, number one, who has a vision, number two. Surely, I want to, every daughter of mine, including your own, to go out with a guy who is a child of God, who loves Jesus, and he has a vision. He has a future in pictures. You talk to him, no, looking at his level, at the stage, at the time that you are talking to him, he doesn't have much. But as you listen to him, you know that this man has a whole lot of vision in future. He may be fearing women, as you are saying, but he can be the best. And so there is nothing wrong to go out such a person. Eventually, I should go along with him. Some of the things that he doesn't know how to do, little by little, especially when you get to marriage or even during dating or concept, some of the things you can approach him in a way, a very polite manner, and talk to him, and then he can change. That's the best. And that man too can respect you. I've seen some married men who told me, oh, Daddy, when I met this my wife, I didn't know even how to dress. They confessed to me. But little by little, my wife has changed me, and now I can dress properly. That one, you have a plus as a young girl or a wife that through you, your man has changed. So you can go out, any man who is a child of God, who is not a lazy person, and he loves Jesus, and is hard worker, you can go with him. The only way I can say don't go with a guy is when the guy doesn't value you the way you are, doesn't have respect for women, and he doesn't love God. And I don't care how he carry himself. Don't go with such a person. Else, you are going to be frustrated. Because marriage is supposed to be enjoyable, but it depends on the man in question who you marry or the woman in question who you marry. And those choices ought to be very careful. If not, your future is going to be in shambles. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You can follow up with the next one.
Okay, and I want to ask that spiritually, let me take it that way, that if you see someone in a dream that maybe you kind of have an intimate with a person, that maybe if you come to reality, it will look like, hey, then this person is meant to be that we should get married. But in reality, the person is in a relationship with someone. And with that, seeing someone in a dream, especially seeing a guy in a dream, maybe you've seen 2 or 3 people. With that, how specifically will you know that God is saying that I should marry any of them?
Listen, when it comes to marriage, right, it is more on human will. And when it comes to human will, most of the time it depends on us, not in visions. No one, either a girl or a guy, should ever make a choice because of dreams. It can be tricky. For example, I met a virgin for. I began to make research about her life, where she came from, and the kind of work she does, and the family. I made all research for 2 years, and I realized she's a married woman. She has all it takes that she can be also for mommy. After I've gathered all that, before I went to God, in most cases, some people are too spiritual. I don't want you to say that, well, God cannot allow someone to see somebody to marry him or her. But looking at the Bible, it is human will. And even at times, even God doesn't even have power over our human will. That is why today we have most people who are not Christians. So when it comes to marriage, it is your choice. Never make a choice by dream. It can be disastrous. And don't allow anyone to use any spiritual way to say this is your husband. No. You must be able to observe the man. This is the person. Look at the demeanor, the courtesy, his personality, character, temperament. Identify all that, and I therefore see the love of God in him. Never make a choice by dreams. So when you see somebody in the dream, you must be able to do the physical aspect, do the research, observe him, question, do a whole lot of questions. Be assured first. Don't depend on dream. Never. It can be too damaging. And some people, because of their spirituality and superstition, and in most cases, they come back and it is worse. So marriage is a choice. It's like when it comes to politics, for somebody to be a president or something, God has power to choose, but He has given us power to make a choice. Okay. During theocratic government, when God was in charge, He was the one who made a choice, like David, like Saul. Today, we are under democracy. You make a choice. The same way when it comes to marriage. I was looking at the Bible from Genesis chapter 3, and it appears maybe God changed His mind. I say maybe because I'm not sure. From the episode between Adam and Eve. When they fell, Adam said, he told God, the woman you gave to me has made me to fall. I think that from that day, God said, well, now I'm not going to do such a thing anymore. When it comes to choice, look at the person, make your choice. Life is a product of your choice.
Okay.
Don't depend on spirituality so much. If not, you may be disappointed. I'm not also saying God cannot. With God, all things are possible. But I'm talking about generality. Okay. We have exceptional cases, but generally, Master, go for the person by your own eyes. And after that, go before God. Because when you come, let's say, to the altar, the pastor will say, what God has joined together, let no man separate. Meaning, when you make your choice, God will come and say, okay, I agree with you. But the choice you must make yourself.
Thank you very much. Viewers, we would like to apologize for the initial setback on our sound. We are back now, and I hope you're enjoying the show. This is Family Matters, and we are talking about choosing a life partner. Thank you all for your comments from Mr. Kingsford, from Paul Manso. You are looking good, LP. Thank you very much. God bless you all. I'd like to read a question from a viewer. She says, what advice will you give to a young person? Okay, what advice will you give to young people who love themselves and want to marry, but their parents disagree because of ethnic tribe?
This is, I'm sure, one of the problems in Africa, probably maybe Ghana, when it comes to tribalism. I see marriage that when you marry one person, let's say you marry your wife, you marry her family in a way. Here I'm talking as an African. I don't know what happens in the West. Meaning the man or the woman in question, they didn't come from heaven. Somebody gave birth to him or to her. And so when it comes to marriage, it is good for you to have the consent of both parties. That is, you need like your mom or your dad to say yes. When they say no, and then the reason is because of ethnicity, you have a challenge. You need to pray to God and convince them with respect. I will never encourage any young guy like Jesse or Maxwell or you to go out with a man or woman that I want to marry him, whether they say no. No, that's not good. If your premises is not good, your conclusion will be bad. Seek the consent of your family. And when they say no because of ethnicity, then what you need to do is that you pray, number one, and probably you look for people that maybe your parents can respect. If it is church, why not? For example, when I went to my village and told my old man that I want to marry somebody, and the first question was, in Africa or Ghana, where does he come from? Immediately I said, no, this kind of people, they are bad, they are this. And here in Africa, they say if you marry somebody from your hometown, maybe when he or she spends something, they can be left over. And this, my father happens to be a senior presbyter. I say, sir, I can never argue with you, but with respect to, I began with the Bible, with respect, with prayer. And then eventually, he came to Accra and married my wife for me. So when you have a challenge, when it comes to your parents say no, take it easy. Don't go ahead. Pray more and do a whole lot of behind the scene work by consulting, talking to people, to talk to them so that they can say yes. If your parents say yes to your marriage, it's the best. You need their blessing because your parents are next to God. Never ignore them because of civilization or because you think you are too modernized. No, because when you marry one person, you marry a family. So you go to a book like Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16, 18, and Ruth said, your people shall be my people. So when you marry a woman, her people must be your people. If you marry a man, his people shall be your people. Seek the consent of your parents before you go and say, I do. It will help you. Yeah.
Shepherd Maxwell, can we have your question, please?
Yes. To begin with, I'm very grateful to be on this show. There are a lot of Peace Chapel members, and I'm counted off one of them who are supposed to be on this show. That alone is a blessing. Bishop, thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
And then to my question. I have it in two phases, but then I would like to. I don't know how you would answer it.
Go ahead.
Yes, Bishop. I believe in attractions. That is human nature. Okay, and then you are in a relationship with a relationship aspect. Let's say before marriage, you are in a relationship with this young girl, and then as I said, attractions are human nature. Although she loves you, but then there is someone or some person she's attracted to. Aside loving you, she's attracted to, and so maybe she had intimacy with her once or twice. I'm asking, although you love that person, she loves you too. Would you advise you carry on with the relationship? Because I know relationships leads to marriage. That is the prime reason for being in a relationship, I guess. And then secondly,
Okay, so let's deal with the first one. You are saying, here you are, let's say you are a guy. You have met a girl, and the girl loves you, also love her. And then, I don't know whether along the line, she had another attraction for another person. Even she has been have affair with
with her
him.
person, exactly,
Can you still go?
on with the relationship.
I don't think it's a very good one. No. For me, there are some let's say when you are driving, right? The traffic light, the green and the yellow and the red, they don't have mouth. But when you get there and you see red, it is a sign for you to stop. If you ignore, you crash. So at times in courtship, in dating, or in the relationship, those are the signs. We call them red flags. If you see these things, I want to go out with you, or I even have a relationship with you in a way, and then along the line you have another thing with somebody, no, you must not go out. You must never continue. You must discontinue the relationship. And at times I am surprised when I hear guys say, "I love her." Are you correct? This is no. You don't love such person because it's a red flag. You must avoid it. That is why for us, as Christians, Peace Chapel, we believe scripture that when you are going out with a girl or a guy, premarital sex ought to be avoided. So that when some of these red flags occur, you can discontinue. And it's not going to cost you anything. Because who could do? But if you go ahead with all the red flags, I don't think you're helping yourself. So don't say, I still love. No. I can't love such a person. And times some young girls will tell me, well, the guy is beating me, but I'm in love with him. The guy has not married you, beating you, love him. Something's wrong with your head. So for me, that would be the thing. Never go out any girl like that. I don't care the way you love her. It's not a good sign. It's a bad sign. The flags are too bad. You must discontinue. Yeah. So now you can bring your second one.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering the first question. And this one also is in relation to the first question I asked.
Okay.
That one was with relationships. But this one, let's stage it to the marriage aspect. This one is past relationships. God has blessed it. They've had the pulpit vows and everything. They are in the relationship now, 5 years, 7 years.
As married
people.
Okay.
Maybe one of them has intimacy with another person. And then the Bible has made us understand that so far as you've entered it, there is no coming back. That instance, what do? Because this is my happily wedded wife. I've been with her all this time. During the relationship, she did nothing like that. And now that we are married, she's having intimacy with someone, and I've gotten to find out, do I divorce her or still continue with it? If I divorce her, it breaks the Bible codes, I guess. If I continue with it, is that not a death warrant I've signed?
Well, I like you are a shepherd. You are using Bible, and I like that. When fornication, adultery occurs, the covenant has been broken. Matthew 5:32, Matthew 19:1-6. When your wife sleeps with another person, she has broken the covenant. So when divorce occurs, you have not done anything against scripture or against God. When a guy, let's say a husband, sleeps with a strange woman apart from his wife, the covenant has been broken. So when divorce occurs, you have not hurt anybody, you have not done anything against God. But since the Bible says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall see mercy. You can forgive your wife and continue. And if you forgive her and continue, you have never signed any death warrant. Just that it's not going to be easy. Trust has been gone. Dreams have been shattered. And it's not going to be easy for you at all. So maybe if you use death warrant, then the death warrant will be the mistrust, lack of confidence, and other things. But if you can forgive such a person, you can continue. You have not done anything against God. But for me, I will suggest that any married man must stay with his wife. Vis-a-vis the wife, stay with your husband. Because if it occurs, it's not going to be easy. And it's not going to be, no, for me like this, if you come to me, I've gone away out with another man and talk to your husband for me, my husband for me, it is going to be difficult for me as a preacher to do so. Yeah. Because I try to tell people what I can do. I read Romans chapter 2, and the Bible says, whatever you tell people, you must be able to be a doer of it. Things that I can't do, I don't want to tell people. So I will just say, if you can't spell, don't write. Don't write. And you say more. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Shepherd Jacinto, your questions.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank Bishop for having us and the host, especially. I hope it goes down.
No,
My question would be like, so Bishop, should we be only concerned of love before choosing a partner?
Come again.
Should we be only concerned of love before choosing a partner?
Love. Choosing a partner is a big, broad decision you need to make. Many things ought to be considered, which love is one of the integral part of it. Choosing a love partner. Love, what is love? Love is, I am committed to you. I have decided to go with you, and because of love and decision, my actions is, I want to marry you. I will never say choosing a love partner must only be on the platform of love only. You must consider many factors. For example, when you want to marry a girl, who is she? If her vision and your vision is not conversant, in other words, she has different vision. Let's say you are a shepherd, and here in this church, shepherds are people that we are trained that in future you can be leaders in the church. If you meet a girl and she tell you, Jesse, maybe I can't be a soft mom, yo. Hey, my amon show completely because you are a shepherd. So you don't just say love alone. Love alone is inadequate. If your vision is not the same way, in other words, if we are going this way and she's going different way, then there's a question mark there. So first and foremost, before you say I do, consider many factors, including love. But look for what is her vision, what is his vision, number one. Number two, if this person, does he love God? Does he respect me? Does he have value for my family, for my friends? What about the kingdom business? Is he a church person? If you meet somebody, I want to marry you, say me, I don't want to go to church. Maybe I go to church once a month. Hey, run away. Oh. Don't say love. So love is there, but you got to consider other factors. Let's say you've met somebody who is lazy. He doesn't know how to cook. Maybe one day you just visit this girl and then the mother was, hey, can't you do pepper soup? Oh, mommy, don't worry me. And you say you want to marry this one? Trouble, trouble, trouble. So look for a girl who can cook, who is a hard worker, he loves God and he has value. So before you say love, all this ought to be considered. So love alone is not adequate. Don't use only love as a yardstick to make a choice. Else, along the line, you may be disappointed. Yeah.
Second question would be like, I'm asking for a friend. I think he's watching us live.
Who?
Michael.
Okay.
Michael, yeah. So his question is, how do I know if I'm truly in love with someone?
How do you know if I truly love someone? Okay, so let him use. At times I try not to use my experience because experiences are not objective. You need to have objective experience. My own is just subject, but let me use just one. And this scenario, what showed that I'm in love with Teresa, my wife, a virgin for, or that anytime we met, her presence alone is was too much for me. Presence. And she too, vice versa. One day she wrote me a letter, spare me 1 of your time. Yes, 1 of your time. And so the presence alone, your presence is all, yes. Oh, Jesus, this one, yes, that kind of thing. So the presence of the person is supposed to be your friend, that you, anytime you hear the voice or maybe text message or whatever, you can feel something kicking in your body. If there's no any kind of sign like that, it can be damaging. So the presence, the personality of the person, the way he speaks or she speaks, when you hear the voice, maybe a day or two, if you have not heard the voice, you think that you have lost many things. Yes. So those are the cardinal signs. Yes. You feel that, yeah, this person is okay. And at times, other people say, are you correct? I am correct, though. Because you don't know what's happening in my body. Something is moving me. Something is worrying me. Yes, I'm correct. So these are some of the signs that show that you are in love with somebody. But at times, some people may be rich. They have everything. And yet, you don't have any feeling for them, So don't do that. Just make sure the way he talks, the way he dresses, when you see him or her, you feel good. And yes, that's important.
Thank you. It's getting exciting. It's getting interesting. I have a few comments from our viewers. Charlotte Bobole says, I've missed you, Bishop. Ajenim Boateng says, my papa is in the building and he's clapping. Susie Frimpong says, I love you all. I love all the answers, Papa. Okay. We have some questions from our Facebook page. Abigail Asomenin says, at what age do you think it's advisable for a lady to be in a relationship? Thank you.
At what age?
Do you think it's advisable for a lady?
This answer will be in the context of Africa or Ghana. Elsewhere, 18 years you are of age. Here in Ghana or Africa, the schooling and the systems and other stuff, I don't want to depend only on age, but the person may be at least, if he has gone to school, have first degree, and then the person must be working. Very important, because to be a wife, you look at the Bible like Proverbs 31, you need to be working. And also Genesis 2:18, the Bible says you are a helper. And so, although age is important, it doesn't matter if you are 40 years and you are not working, you can marry. 40 years, okay, in your case, you didn't go to school. You learn a trade. Do you have income? Very important, especially girls. Because I've discovered that here, this part of the world, some men maltreat women because of a lack of purchasing power. And so age is important, but before I say anything at all, let's make sure that this person in question, if he has gone to school, has finished at least first degree, and has having a trade or a livelihood, something that brings money. If that person has done that, and then he's 23, 24, why not? But if you are even 30, you have not gone to any school, you have not learned any trade, then you can be still there. So age is probably second or third factor that we need to consider. Some of these things are very important, more than age.
Okay.
If not, if you say, well, I am aging, I want to marry, peer pressure, trouble for you, because your husband is not going to have respect for you if you are not an asset to him. Most people are just liability because they don't contribute anything. The man can speak to you anyhow. So I would just encourage all my daughters, and in case you are my online viewer, young girl, make sure if you are schooling, finish school, get a job. And if you get a job, get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
why I said in Africa, because when you go to the West, like UK, elsewhere, you can still be in school and getting money. So that one, you can marry. because you are a student, but you receive like $1,000 a month, £1,000 a month, £800 a month, and if the guy is also receive the same thing, both of you have like 2,000. Your apartment is about 800. You can marry and still schooling. But here in Africa, you know, it doesn't work that way. So that's why I said the answer. I'm using the Ghana context.
Ghanaian context.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. She follows up with a question and she says, what are the signs of a good relationship? And she also asks that, can you change the vision of your partner to suit yours?
Can you change? Let's say, a woman, you are not called to change your partner's vision.
Okay.
You are called to support. You are called to help him, not to change it.
Not to change.
And that's it. And the other one
is, what are the signs of a good relationship?
Oh, many signs. If, let's say, the person have value for you, he or she respects you, it's a good sign. Yes, I think that's the most important sign that you are looking for. Value, respect. It's a good sign. He speaks to you politely because of value. It's a good sign. And if every day you are fighting, it's a bad sign. I can imagine people are just dating and they are fighting. Yehovah. I have married by the grace of God over 27 years. And at times, even 5 years in my life, I have never had disagreement with my wife. 5 years. We are just there like husband and wife, loving each other. And I'm speaking this, and other people can also attest to the fact, because in this church, Peace Chapel, we have lived with pastors in our house. And I'm talking to you now, we have 4 daughters from the church. You can't hear us again. No. We love ourselves. How can you have somebody say you want to marry and you are fighting? That's a bad sign. It's a bad sign. Red flag. Check why you are fighting. So the good sign is when there's no much disagreement. Much disagreement. And you have value and respect for each other. Go. It's a blessing.
Okay. I have a comment from Lillian Amapriti. She says, my shepherds, Jesse, Nancy, and Max, God bless you guys. God bless you too, Bishop. Thank you very much, all our online viewers. Thank you for the comments and questions. Keep them coming in, and we are sure to answer them all. I want to tell you about our social media handles. We have Facebook, which is Peace Chapel, YouTube, Peace Chapel, Twitter, Peace Chapel. Join us on any of these platforms, and your life will never be the same. My next question is from Vida. She says, if you are in a relationship with someone you truly love, but he is not working yet, but schooling, and is left with some years before he will complete, and the lady is already working, must the lady keep on waiting for the guy to finish school before they can get married? Vida.
Hey, well, you see, marriage is not one day, neither 1 year. Some have married for 80 years, 60 years, and at times, by experience, I will never encourage my daughter or my niece to marry a man who is not working. That's why we look at the Bible as our basis. God is a wise God. He created Adam when Eden has already been made by him. So in a way, when God planted Adam in the Garden of Eden, Adam began to work, Genesis 2:15, before the woman was introduced. And so I will never encourage any daughter that, well, I love you, is he schooling? He doesn't have any income. Hey, trouble.
Yeah, she's saying, should she wait for him before they get married? Like, he has like 3 years or 5 years.
If you can, why not? Okay. If you can. But the challenge is that in most cases, there can be disappointment. Human beings, we are two dynamics. And by reason of our dynamism, everything can change. You have about 3-4 years waiting for somebody. In the process of time, something can happen. Yeah. If you can be sincere to yourself, why not? But I will never encourage you, wait and wait and wait. We have exceptional cases. I have like daughters and sons in this church that some of them, they dated for 8 years and they still married. Yes. Yeah, I have about 1, 2, 3 in the church. Those are exceptional cases, but the norm, hey, trouble. The guy is still schooling. Let's say if it is Jesse. Or Maxwell.
Yeah.
Hey, this my shepherds. They are good people, oh, but they can be a bit sophisticated. So that's why I would say.
You said the truth.
Eh? Is he helping? He's trying to say I'm saying the truth. So you got to know the guy you are waiting for. Who is he? That's the question. Who is that guy in question? Because there are some guys, if they say, look up, and you don't look down, oh, you look all your legs. I'm not saying Maxwell and Shepherd are like that. I didn't say that.
Okay, Daddy, there's a follow-up question to this very one. Another lady says, what do you do as a lady if you see signs that a gentleman likes you because he tells you in parables to wait for him, but has not yet proposed, but you think he's keeping long, and other capable men are waiting at your doorstep? For how long should one wait for his or her partner?
Listen, a girl, your power is when a guy says, I love you. If he has not said it, don't assume it. If you think it's the right person, you can probably pray, God. I've seen this guy, oh, the way he speaks to me, they say action speaks louder than words. He has not said anything, but he's asking, God, is it him? If it's him, Father, then give him the boldness to come and say yes. If he has not said it, then don't conclude that you are in love. Here in this church, I've seen many things. I tell somebody who say, no. If he has not said it, don't assume. And in case other capable men are on the queue,
On the line.
if they have come, why not?
Grab it.
Grab them, because hey, grab them. And but before you grab, you got to know that, as I said, he's a child of God. He loves Jesus. He's a hard worker. He has value for you. Has value for kingdom things. But never assume that a guy has not said, and because you are waiting, don't wait. How are you going to wait for somebody for 2 years? Charlie, on Kenya, and I know where I'm going, baby. Look for somebody different.
Okay, we have some comments. Susie Frimpon says, wow, God bless you, Daddy. Question from Margaret Mensa. How can someone say, I love you, but is not comfortable with the way you back your words with scriptures and your level of knowledge? Can it be love or lust?
Oh, everything has its time. There are some people, see, Christianity is a process. Justification is instant, but when it comes to growing, it's a process. So some people might not have scriptures quoting other, but here and there, they are in love with God. And little by little, they are growing. If they have opportunity to grow in grace, you can give them chance. Okay. It's not quotation. Yes. And so I will never say, go for a man with scriptures. He may not have scriptures, but if he's in love with you, he loves Jesus, little by little, everything can be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think she's saying that that person is not comfortable with you, like Bishop, the way you back every statement with a scripture. That person, the partner is not okay
with scriptures.
Yes, she backing her comments with.
That's a red flag.
Maybe the partner thinks she's being too spiritual.
But hey, for me, I will encourage all my daughters and sons and nieces and sisters, go for spiritual person. Hey. Very important. And this instant, we are not saying somebody who pray louder. No. Spirituality is scripturality. Wow. A person who is embedded in scriptures. He walk along with God. That's the spiritual person I'm talking about. Go for him or her. And if whoever is around you is complaining you are too spiritual, hey, you don't like spiritual person, whom are you looking for? Because, hey, it's the best. And if the person is not comfortable, then probably there's a bit red flag there. I'm not saying conclude by saying no to the person. But if he keeps on continuing, then you must be able to discontinue the relationship. Sure. Very important. Because you can never tell me I'm too spiritual because of that you don't like. And even in this regard, spirituality is scripturality. That's important. But I'm not, if you see a guy and then all the time, who busy, That's what spirituality is. Spirituality is. So, spirituality.
Thank you. Gloria Ado says, thank you, Daddy. We are very blessed to have you as our father. I have a question here. In choosing a life partner, is it equally important to consider your partner's sex life? From Harriet.
Sex life, meaning how many?
Your partner's past
life.
Sex life.
It's a dicey thing. Hey, Jesus, have mercy.
Amen.
Well, when somebody is in the world, right? When somebody has not met Jesus, his sins are forgiven. There's a scripture in Acts 17:30. Acts 17:30. The Bible said, when you didn't know, God ignored it. And so, if somebody has, let's say, has a lot of sex before coming to Christ, God has forgiven that person. And so you don't need to consider the past. Philippians 3, Apostle Paul said, I forget the past and I press on towards the goal. Having said that, for me, if you meet a guy and he has lived in the world so much that he has had a whole lot of sex with girls, maybe Coca-Cola color, a bottle,
all types,
all shapes, all types,
from all races,
and all colors. Then I will say that pray more and make sure the guy has genuinely accepted Christ. If not, don't go for it. So what am I trying to say? If people come to Christ, God has forgiven them. So you must never consider their past. This is general answer.
Okay.
But, for example, before I got married, I just said, this is me. That's why I said I don't want to share much of my experience because this is not objective. But I just said, I want to marry a virgin. This is Adofoh Lolonyo. The reason I can't say it here. And thankfully, God did it.
Amen.
And so it's up to you. If you want to go out with somebody who has slept with 80 girls, it's up to you. And the danger is, the danger is that when you meet and you are courting or you are dating, be careful how you try to bring back your past. Because it can be very threatening. And so if we are talking, there are some things you don't need to ask. How many women have you met before me? Hey, sister,
you are in for it.
You are looking for trouble because at times the guy probably is a genuine person, but some people, their past is too bad. So don't go there.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue. It's Family Matters, and we are talking about choosing a life partner. Stay tuned. Thank you.
And I'm moving on to years ago. What you upon the next hour, that's it. Life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a me na or me or ban, and I say, make no and the should I also decide to stop the cooking?
But do I say, I am sorry, say, remember we look at me, the name for my child. Try. Life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a me na or me or ban, and I say, make no and the should I also decide to stop the cooking?
But do I say, I am sorry, say, remember we look at me, the name for my child. Try. And I'm moving into years no what you upon and make sure that life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a meme na or a me or ban, and I say, make no and the should I also decide to stop the cooking?
But do I have to say, I am sorry, say, memory will look at it. Made an empire, made each other. Try. And I'm moving into years no what you upon and make sure that life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a meme na or a me or ban, and I say, make no and the should I also decide to stop the cooking?
But do I have to say, I am sorry, say, memory will look at it. Made an empire, made each other. Try. And I'm moving into years no what you upon and make sure that life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a meme na or a me or ban, and I say, make no and the should I also decide to stop the cooking?
But do I have to say, I am sorry, say, memory will look at it. Made an empire, made each other. Try.
For staying tuned. Thank you for watching Peace Chapel. This is Family Matters, and we are proudly sponsored by Peace Chapel International. We want to announce to you and remind you that God willing, tomorrow 8 a.m. we are going to have service online. Same Facebook, Peace Chapel. Make a date with us and you will be a blessing. Thank you for staying tuned. I want to go on with the next question. The next question says, how do I differentiate a player from someone who is serious, from Kabuki?
Very simple. You can differentiate by the actions. Let's say, oh, I'm going to marry you next 2 months. Next 2 months, he comes again. Next 6 months. Next 6 months. In other words, excuses upon excuses. That person is a player, a playboy. Or he comes around and all he does is when he meets you, is talking to you about other girls. And you are there. When I was coming, I met this one, the shape and the eyelash and other stuff.
This is serious red flag.
Yes, red flag. So then you know that this guy is a playboy. But when somebody is serious, he stands behind his words, and that is the person is faithful. When we say faithful person is somebody who stands behind his or her word. And so if somebody goes on with all excuses, it's a playboy. It's a big red flag. Avoid him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She goes on to ask, how can I improve my communication skills in a relationship? Because I have that problem. The same lady.
Communication is a skill one ought to learn. And so such a person need to be taught. Let's say if this person asking the question is in Accra or in Ghana, he can come around to meet Reverend Apa and some of the marriage counselors, and he can be taught. Communication is a skill that you need to be learned. Very important. You can't just assume you know. You ought to be taught. You ought to be trained. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll ask this question, then I'll allow my shepherds to also ask their question. Question is, how will you know you are making a mistake in a courtship or relationship in choosing a partner?
You know when the person is inconsistent in his words, and so you have blank eyes. let's say you go to a guy who says he want to marry you, and then you knock, and the girl is there, and say, "Oh, forgive me. When I marry you, I will change." You are making a mistake. He says this today, tomorrow different. Oh, this was my ex. This my sister. An inconsistency in his speech.
My cousin.
My cousin, yes. My junior sister. Nah, yeah, it's a dangerous thing. When you see all those things and you say, well, I was to marry him or her, that's a dangerous thing. You want to marry a girl, you visit her, you pay her a visit, and she's beating her own mother. And hey, why you do that? Well, my mother is stubborn. I want to teach her a lesson. And you say, well, and you come and cry to you, it's not me, it's the devil. When I marry, I'll stop. Don't try to go. So there are some people, they see some of these problems and challenges, and they still ignore. And if you do such a thing, you are heading towards trouble. Yeah. So at times there are indicators in our ways. You see, that's why God is too good. When you pray to him, he may not come to you and say, hello, Nancy, go and marry this person. But at times, by accents, God will try to depict to you the person in question. That is why if you are a young girl and you are dating, don't ignore some of the actions from your partner in question. Because in a way, God is speaking to you through those actions. Don't avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Shepherd. Jesse, your question.
Questions here are plenty, but I'll choose
Plenty.
Plenty questions. So someone is asking, should he go in for someone, a lady who likes him more than he likes the lady?
I will tell any guy, like any son, a brother, a nephew, if it is possible, before you marry, make sure the girl in question loves you more. Oh yes, like if you're Jemfua, she is the best, because he's the best.
Bishop.
Oh yes.
Bishop, the ladies here.
That's the truth.
No. So if you are saying this for he, the gentleman.
Well, he asked a question. I'm just answering. I'm saying to the gentleman, if we're a guy and you want to marry, if it is possible, I gave some if there. If you meet a girl who loves you more, it's a good sign.
Oh, this one here. So what of a lady? If you meet a guy.
Well, so then I am saying, if you meet like a lady, if you meet a guy and he loves you more, it's also a good sign.
Thank you. But
yes.
he stress that more like he stress on the gentleman.
Let's stick to the guy more. I think that is the best for we the guys.
Look at that. But the girls are also here.
Okay. Is there another question from your side? Okay. So
my question, right? Daddy, myself, I just wish this show could host for maybe 24 hours. The question ran in my mentality.
24 hours.
Daddy, I have so many questions. I don't even know how to prioritize them. But let me ask this, Daddy. You know, I wasn't in the primitive times, but before now, our parents made us understand in their days, parents or our mothers and fathers were old enough to get married before they could even start a relationship. But revolution has made us the youth now 18, and we think we are already up for it. We go 2 years into it, 1 or 2 challenges, and then they say breakups and then heartbreaks.
You wake up at 2
There was one social media trend recently, the past is not the present. The past is not the present. But I want to ask, you know, our youth are mostly immature before they enter a relationship. At what age do you think we are matured enough to contain relationship struggles and challenges?
Well, basically, for the guys, I would say, if we are schooling, at least first degree, finish, complete. And when you're going to school during first degree, don't propose. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a mistake, because you can't see well. And girls, nowadays, girls, listen. The guys that you meet them in school, first, let's say level 1 to level 300, be careful about them.
Yeah.
They want to use you for something. For me, how can you propose to a girl when you are in level 100, level 200, level 300? What are
Help
you?
me finish my course.
At least for me, I will just forget that. Finish schooling, get a job before. So if we talk about age, that's why I see I'm a bit careful and tactical. If I say 20, it can be subjective. But I'm saying generally, if we are schooling, during school time, don't propose to a girl. Because most cases, girls, I don't understand my daughters. Every day heartbreaking. They will break your heart. The other time somebody said they are breaking my neck. I said they will break your bones too.
The past is not a present.
You see, so I don't understand why this youth exuberance and the modernization. Yeah. So if you ask me the question, Shepherd, the truth is, if you're a student, don't propose. In Africa context, finish school, get a job. Because, listen, disappointments and heartbreaking, look at Jesse. What is happening to you? You are sweating. You see, because in most cases, people say they are breaking my heart, like the past and not the present. You see, so, you see the kind of premises they are using to try to deceive people. So for me, if you ask me, the truth is that it is not the best if you are schooling and you propose. Because in most cases, if I've done some research, 90% of such proposals end up being disappointed. And then that's why we have the heart broken and then now the neck broken at all as well. So,
Okay, thank you.
yes, that's it.
Viewers in the house, Bishop says, if you are in school as students, please don't propose.
Don't propose.
And don't accept as a lady. Or else you wake up at 2 and say, hey. So Harriet Aqua says, thank you, Daddy. I love this answer. Like I always say, if we live in assumptions, we fail. The questions are coming. Please, is it good for a lady to stay in the house of the guy's parents while they aren't married yet, and the parents of the guy is grooming her to be a wife material for their son? Okay, yes, that's the question.
Well, listen, like 30, 40 years ago, in our villages, there's a word called a siwa. A siwa simply means that, let's say I have a son, and I want my son to marry somebody, and then that person can come. As a matter of fact, during those days, even if the girl is even 10 years or 5 years, the parents of the guy can just go and say, well, when my son grows, he's going to marry you. So that one was working. And those days, the faithfulness was so great. Today, in most cases, it doesn't work. So if a guy has good parents, and the parents are sure that their son is going to disappoint, is not going to disappoint the girl, and they don't have any sex, I don't think it's bad. I'll never say that's bad, because faithfulness is what we are looking for. If the people are faithful and there's no premarital sex, there's something wrong, because today we say we are too polite, but in those days, the Siwa time, it was working very, very well. Because what is it? There's a word called pragmatics. It was working for them, but today it's not working. So I would just say we have exceptional cases. If the parents and their son are committed to this daughter in question, and there's no premarital sex, and they are serious with it, there's no problem. The only problem is disappointment and premarital sex. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So Shepherd Nancy will ask a question.
Okay, a kind of my question rounds up to the premarital sex, that and including doctrine. Let's see, Christianity, we have doctrines. People say that my church, we don't do this, my church, we don't do that. And you have this person that their church, they have this graceful life. Oh, grace is available. And he thinks that after marriage, what if you are not giving all the things you have to do in bed? And I think that my doctrine is saying that grace is available. let we try and see if you are good in bed before we get married, because he thinks that experiences of people, the lady goes and is shy to have sex with the man, or they go and the man can't do anything. Medically, I don't know if we can prove that you know that this man can't do it well or will do it well, or the lady will be stick to being so virgin, still doesn't want to break it after marriage. So with this, Daddy, I want to ask.
Well, so let's say medically, there are many signs that medically they can prove that this man is okay, is a good man, is a fertile man, and this woman too. Medically, they can do that. Having said that, the grace teaching. Grace is a good teaching, but most grace preachers or grace teachers have polluted the teachings. The truth is that fornication is evil. If your church, for me, I will tell anybody, let's say a girl, if you meet any guy and his church says, because of grace you can sleep, avoid him. What kind of teaching is that? Because from A to Z, Old Testament, New Testament, fornication is evil. As a matter of fact, in Old Testament, generally, as a Jew, if you are a girl as a Jew and you marry, the first day you go to your husband's compound, there will be people in your house because they are going to make your bed, and the next morning they are coming to see if there's no blood, you are going to be stoned to death. And this was Bible, Old Testament. New Testament, the Bible says, flee fornication. So I can't imagine a church say grace. What are you talking about grace? So grace, are you going to fornicate? The truth is, I am not God, but I can say that the reason why most marriages are not working is because of premarital sex. Because if you begin with the devil, you got to know that if you begin with him, he's going to punish you. He comes to destroy. Now, how to do the thing? When you get there, you shall cross that. You can do the thing. So medically, if everything is okay, go ahead and marry. When you get there, you shall cross.
Okay, thank you. From Pastor Michael Abdul Karim. He says, when couples start telling lies to each other, it opens doors for the devil to infiltrate the relationship. This is just to back Bishop's answer. Thank you very much. Thank you all viewers for your questions and your contributions. And Akosia Bani Gifty also says, God bless you, Daddy. Thank you so much. My next question is there any such thing as the one? You know, people say that there is this particular person just for me in the whole world. Is there something like that, like just one person? Or if that one person maybe dies or doesn't come, you have someone else you can call that one?
Well, for me, we have almost 8 billion people in this world. I will never say this particular one. No. The only time you can say that is if it comes God. God is the only one that we must never mix. Jesus is the only one, but not a human being at all. Okay. No. Because you can die, then you can kill yourself, you can commit suicide. Let's say, yes, this is a guy, handsome guy, TikTok.
My dream man.
My dream man with hair at the chest and everything. Nice, 6 packs. Look at that. You see? And then the guy says, well, my parents say I'm not going to marry. Yeah, I'm finished. Who told you I'm finished? More guys are there, you know. I look at the Bible, and Elijah went to God. And then God said, why you run away? Listen to Elijah. Well, God, all the prophets have been killed. It's only I, Elijah. God said, now lie. I have 7,000 more than you.
Wow.
So Elijah said, alone. God said, now lie. I have 7,000. So I want to tell you, although this guy is a good guy, but God says another 7,000, even more than him, are there.
Thank you. From Maggie, who is at Adofoh, she says, Aside choosing a man that is God-fearing, what other qualities should one look out for in a partner?
God-fearing must be the first. The person who loves the Lord, very important. But also look for the person if he also respect and have value for you as a woman, very important. And then make sure the person has a vision in life, is hardworking, and is wise. He's a planner. And those are the things you need to look for. Don't just say the person loves the Lord, and because of that, I want to marry him. If the person is lazy, if the person is not, he doesn't have any vision, he doesn't have value for you, no, avoid it. Yeah, so look for the one who loves the Lord. That's the first thing. But he must be able to respect you, has value for your presence, and has vision in life, and is a hard worker. Yeah.
Thank you. She follows up to ask, in the case where partners' genotype don't match, should they embark on faith journey as Christians or adhere to the advice of the church to break up?
This is not a church advice. Oh. This is medical advice. Please chapel like this. No church advice. It's medical advice. And watch this. In most cases, people don't have this kind of, they think that, oh, the church is not helping me. By experience, for example, here, by the grace of God, Peace Chapel, I've been around ever since the church began. And before Peace Chapel, I'd been around as a minister. With my naked eyes. AS. They ignore the church. They ignore the pastor. This is Peace Chapel. And they're married. Big wedding. Because as a counselor, you may suggest, but you can never enforce so much. At times, both of them need to write their consent that, well, bishop or the church or the marriage counselors, you told us that, but we have penned our signature to go ahead. And I'm just giving one classic example. They married. Their first child, SS, died after 2 years. And now they broke up. And I can't say many things on. So it's not a judge. Oh, please, never say I want to embark on faith journey. It's dangerous. God has given us ideas and modalities and plans. Listen to the medical advice, and it will help you. AS, you can't marry. ASAC, you can't marry. Only AA. Any possible AAAC and other stuff. Hey, genotype is dangerous if it doesn't work.
Okay.
So I will say this, I will just use this opportunity to say that in case you are a young girl, know your genotype. Young guy, know your genotype. Do you know your genotype? I know you know.
Yes.
Yes. But I know you are in Peace Chapel, you check. It's important. You got any woman, like let's say you're a mother or you're a father, make sure your children know their genotype. It's important. And as a young girl, you got to know your genotype before. Yes, very, very important.
Okay.
If not, something can happen to you. Somebody just called me, myself and LP were doing something with Mama. We're doing like some errands. And then somebody just called her. So Mommy and LP were somewhere, and I was just also alongside with them. And then they brought my phone. This girl came to this church for some time. And when I asked all the youth to do this sampling and other, he didn't do it. Now, she has done it. She saw her own AS. And then the guy in question is not from this church. And the guy also went. And the girl told the guy that, hey, maybe I go to Peace Chapel. My bishop says, before I say I do, go and check. This guy went and checked AS. And so now the girl called me. Daddy, I am AS, so she's also AS. Will I continue? I said, double no. Capital no. Never embark on any faith journey. This one is fake, not faith.
Wow. Okay, so we are close to ending. I want to give our last question, but I think we should have a part 2 of this because the questions are a lot.
Let the producers and the people decide, and you guys can decide.
What exactly is the personality they say we should look out for? What should it entail? How can we distinguish between the person's true personality and pretense? From Pamela.
That one, if for a child of God, only God knows inside of a man. Because Jeremiah says man can be deceptive. So for you to know the real personality, go and make inquiry before the Lord. And surely it will come out. I'm not saying, wait, Pamela, who is speaking? I'm Jesus. This and this and that. Those can happen. But normally, when you pray for you to identify true personality, God will allow you to see the signs. If the person has ego, and because of his ego, he can't submit himself, is so proud and arrogant, now what are you looking for again? If he says today, tomorrow he change, as if he doesn't marry you, you are going to die. And so at times some people, the way they carry themselves, they think that they are demigods. They are not. So for me, the true personality can be unveiled to you through God. How? After prayer, some of the signs, indicators. But unfortunately, some people, when they see all the signs, they still go for it. So the true personality, I would say, genuinely, the person might be constant in his approach to you. If people are not very sure, they are like seeking people every day, this and that, That's why it's not the best. When Peter, the name Peter used to be Simon. Simon is somebody who is not stable, unstable. And so there are some men who are unstable. If they are like that, avoid them. That's why Jesus called him Peter, the rock. And so the personality, the inborn traits and other characters, only God can reveal it. When you go closer to God, make inquiry, and then by God's own way, some of these things can be unlocked and you can see them. Unfortunately, this is the girls. The girls, they see all the red flags and they say, I love. Are you mad? How can you love somebody who is not stable? He's beating you. Every day he's angry. You call him, he doesn't pick your calls. Are you begging to marry such a person? What is wrong with your head? Is it only one person? No, it's not. Don't forget. Elijah said, I am only one. God said no. So I don't understand why some girls are glued to some unstable guys in the name of love. So watch out. Unstable people cannot be trusted. So the true personality, they are constant. When they say something, they mean it. They stand by it. And every day, they listen to you. They want you to hear from them. If you call a guy 1 week, 2 weeks, every day he's apologizing. It's a bad thing. I'm sorry. Don't leave me. I will leave you. I will leave you. Wow. I'll leave him or leave him. Dang.
Thank you, Bishop. It's so sad we've come to the end of today's show. It's been Family Matters, and we've been talking about choosing a life partner. We've answered a lot of questions, and we still have a lot to answer. But I assure you that in our next episode, we are sure that we'll answer all your questions that you sent. God bless you. Thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my co-panelists for coming and joining us here today. They've made today's show really exciting and a blessing to us all. I would also like to thank the Bishop, who has unfailingly been here every time to answer every question that we have as Christians and as youth. We say God bless you. Before we go, I would like each one of my co-panelists to wrap up what they've learned, just in a word, in a sentence. Yes, what you've learned today. And then we move to Daddy's last statements to our viewers. God bless you. Tomorrow we have online service at 8 a.m. Do well to join us. Thank you very much. So let's begin with the lady.
Okay, I want to thank God that this program has been held and is ongoing, because I've been a blessing from beginning till today. We have churches and we have churches, and I have chose rightly, and I'm being a blessing and always be a blessing of this program and the church as a whole. Amen.
Right. Yes. Once again, thank you, Bishop, for having me on your show. Family Matters. This is very well said. Very well said. Thank you, Papa. And then, yes, before now, I never knew most of what you've said today. And then about the maturity aspect, you answered that having a relationship after school. Thank you very much. I don't know, but most of my colleagues are watching. Those before me, those after me. I'm sure they are picking something from this. God bless you, Bishop.
Bless you too,
God
sir.
bless this show.
Bless
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shepherd. Jesse.
I just want to say a little. I would like to thank Bishop for giving us the opportunity. Some of us, like, we've not been on air like this before. It's an opportunity for some of us. So, a big shout out to Bishop and everyone watching. Bless you all.
Okay, thank you to you all. Thank you, viewers. You've been amazing. Thank you for all your comments, your questions. Peace Chapel loves you all. Stay tuned. We want to use this opportunity to wish all mothers and all women happy Mother's Day, which will be tomorrow. God bless you all. We see your labor and we love you all so much. Bishop will go on with his.
Well, I
Sunday.
just want to thank these shepherds. They are good people, and I like the way they are. Nancy is speaking very well and intelligently. I can hear Jesse and Maxwell as well. And thank God that you came, and we want to see you again. What I would say is that those who have, you see, this world, we have only one chance. If there's something, one is one. That is, now that all of you are singles, including the host, you have one chance to make a choice.
The whole world.
The whole world.
Right.
One chance. And since you have not come here before, you must take your time and listen to those who have been there. Now, I look at the Bible and we were told that be imitators of those who through faith and patience have achieved the promise, and also imitate what is good. I will encourage you, all young people, including whoever hearing the sound of my voice, to before you make a choice, after prayer and everything, seek advice from godly people. I look at the Bible, I'm sure Proverbs 20, the Bible said, even when you are planning 2018, you can have a good plan via advice. And so if you're a young girl, like let's say my daughter Nancy or LP, the host, and a guy comes to you, before you say I do, please do a lot of work. Prayer, the first thing, and observe, study, ask questions, and then seek counsel from those who have gone ahead of you. Godly women like mothers and other stuff, and they can help you. And I also say, those of you who are in school, avoid dating. Don't do it. I went to a school, you see, I also went to university, and one of my mates said, well, Daddy, they were still calling me Daddy even in university because still Peace Chapel Bishop. And then they said, for fear, you need to, before you get to level 4, you need to have somebody. If not, the guys, so everybody will go away. Let them go away. Let them go away. So it's like, it was a tensing on her to make a choice. I said, no, don't do it. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying I'm not saying it is absolute that if you make a choice in school, it is not going to work. But majority, it doesn't work. Maybe we have exceptional cases. But for me, as a counselor, I will encourage you, finish school, get a job. And this is Africa context. Because over here, it's not easy. Elsewhere, let's say in UK, even if you are 18 and you get pregnant, they will give you a house by the government. If you don't have a husband, they will pay you. And if let's say you have 4 children with 4 men, I don't know today, but I'm sure, although there have been some cut of some incentives there, but it's still working there. You may have even 1,500 or 2,000 pounds, even 1,000 pounds a month without a husband. But what about here? So over there, things are different. So I'm speaking like African. Although this is a Peace TV, that is the global thing. But some of my answers, I try to contextualize it from this perspective. So I would just encourage African young girls and young guys, finish school, or if you are not schooling, get job, get income. And in case you are dating somebody, don't try to do sex. Not because the Bible hates it, for your own sake. Yes, God hates it, but if somebody disappoints you, it will never affect God. Because most cases, during friendship, anything can happen. But if you give yourself to a guy and he tries to take everything, all the honey from you, then you begin to beg him to marry you.
Bishop.
Please preserve and reserve your honey. You are sweet. Wait it till the day. Premarital sex is evil. So, in conclusion, young girl, look for a young man who fears the Lord, who loves God, who is a hard worker, who has vision, who is not lazy, and more importantly, the man who loves you and cares for you. If you meet such a person, marry that person. The same thing I will say to the guys as well. Don't just marry. Look for a young girl who can help and support you, who values you and respects you. But in all, except the Lord builds, the builder builds in vain. So make Jesus your everything. Consult him. But don't leave everything to God. Don't say God will give it to me. No. Go for your eyes first. Identify her or him with your eyes. And after that, go before God. There are exceptional cases that some people say God told them to marry. I will never have anything against them. But as for me and a virgin before, I saw her with my naked eyes. And after that, I went before the Lord. By my experience, it's not objective. Other people have differences. But you know, marriage is a good thing. If your own is not working, it's your fault. So I'll conclude by saying, all of you, you know how people are suffering and struggling in marriage. Don't add your own. Don't add your own. Make your own different. But if it can be different, it depends on your choices. And my prayer for you, all of you, and all my online viewers is that God will help you to make a good choice.
Amen.
And God bless you. So the grace upon my head,
Hey.
take it. Receive it.
I receive
in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And all my online viewers, young singles, receive the grace
Receive
in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And God bless you.
Today has been very fulfilling. Thank you all for staying tuned till this time. Peace Chapel will come your way again tomorrow, 8 a.m. for our online Sunday service. And on God willing, on Wednesday, we'll have evening service too at 7 p.m. It will continue to Thursday and Friday. God bless you for staying in touch with Peace Chapel International. And then we'll come back your way, God willing, on Saturday for Family Matters, 4 p.m. Make a date with us, and the way you are excited and blessed, you'll be a double excited and you'll be blessed. Thank you. God bless you.
And I'm moving into years and what you upon the next life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a me na or me or ba no na say me kunu and the meduane, should I also decide to stop the cooking?
Me do baby I say I am sorry say remember we look at me the name pa me dey chow da. Try. And I'm moving into years and what you upon the next life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say a me na or me or ba no na say me kunu and the meduane, should I also decide to stop the cooking?
Me do baby I say I am sorry say remember we look at me the name pa me dey chow da. Try. will be able to yes or no, but until the point that makes our dancing. Life is about your choices.
It's in this case, and I'm also asking, say, if say